Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review for today's Newcastle United news show. I am joined by Mr. Stato and, of course, Mr. Billy Bob. Good evening, fellas.
Good evening to all the Magpie Massive and all the fantastic viewers out there in Viewerland.
Indeed, and quite a bit to get through tonight because there is quite a bit of news kicking around with players being linked, players moving out of the club, etc., etc. Dan Ashworth has been in the news, of course. He's now, after working with a cricket club, he's now getting back involved in the FA. Seemed to have slid his way back in.
Slithered,
yes. The snake that he is, he slithered back in. Absolutely. I mean, what do you make of that? He goes to Man United. He gets gassed there. Then he goes to a cricket club, tries to do something there, and now the FA have him back.
He's ruined his chances of a legacy and a reputation.
I mean, he's done a fair job at the FA before. I've no real feelings on the matter. He's nothing to me now.
Yeah, no.
He could have gone to the very top, but he's ruined it. He's still going to be very rich, very comfortable, and have a decent career, very good career. But it's not what it could have been. He could have been at the pinnacle of things, and he's ruined it. It's his own fault. Ha 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 ha.
He has completely ruined it. Now, Alex, you in particular will love this because, of course, in recent days there's been more reports going around in the press that Manchester United are going to snap up Sandro Tonali. Alex, what do you make of that?
I have seen that there's been some reports about this. Get in your lane, you absolute tin pot club. You are in the relegation sort of zone for points per match at the moment. If you don't win in your remaining two fixtures, you'll finish on sub 40 points. And teams have gone down on more than that. You suck. Get your hands off. You haven't got the money. Sort your club out. Sort your owners out. Sort everything out. Finances, attitude, fan base. Rip it up. Start again. You're a mess. You're a joke. Get out the news. I'm sick of you being on the front page of every news site. We don't care. I don't care. You are next to Ipswich in the league. And they're not on the front of everything. I couldn't give a toss if you sell more shirts in Singapore. It means nothing to people in the country that play the Premier League. It means nothing. So go away. You're not getting anyone.
Yeah. I knew Alex would explode at that. To be honest, though, Billy, I don't see how, all these sort of big name players that are linked with Manchester United, right? How? That's what I want to know. How do these fans think they're going to attract all these superstars from around the globe to come to a tin pot club who are literally scrapping above the relegation zone? And I just don't get it. The club is just a pile of balls.
Well, because they're looking in the historical things, aren't they? That at the moment doesn't exist to them. They're just talking about things that happened years ago. Liverpool did the same when they were having a hiatus of winning things and winning titles. That seems to be the modus operandi for fans who are glory hunting fans and have nothing to glory hunt about. They go back to the past when they could attract players like Sandro Tonali from Newcastle.
Yeah,
not happening now. Absolutely no chance. I don't think they could even attract Sean Longstaff from Newcastle. That's how bad things are for Manchester.
Well, a lot of our players don't like Manchester United as well from recent seasons because of losing the cup final. A lot of the stuff we've been privy to with the cameras in the changing rooms prior to going out, the Eddie Howe speeches, they don't like Manchester United. They enjoy beating them. I can't imagine because of the ride that the club are on at the moment. Why would you go there? Unless they're going to throw 250 grand at you when you're currently on 40. Okay. That's probably the only thing they could offer. There's nothing else. No, there's no increase in coaching improvement, facility improvement, fan base, the promise of growth, and maybe the European competition if they beat Spurs. That's all they can offer. all they can offer.
And
they've not exactly progressed players, have they? And helped them get back into national teams and improve them. They've done the opposite.
The manager is having to pay for his coaching staff.
Disgusting.
To go to the Euro final. I mean, how in God's earth does that make any sense? That Ruben Amorim has to pay 30 of his coaching staff to go to the final. It's an.
I actually, you'll like this, Paul. I found myself agreeing with Mark Goldbridge the other day because he criticised Gary Neville for talking about the Forest owner having a little bit of a bust up with Nuno. It's like, you've got no right to talk about anybody else's owners and pull ultimatums. They were saying that Nuno should just quit on the spot. You have no right to talk about things like that when your club is in such a disgusting state. Yeah. Just keep other clubs' names out of your mouth. If you're especially if you're directly involved with Manchester United in a project, it's not appropriate.
I don't think Ruben Amorim actually did his due diligence there, because the squad he took over was rancid. He would be expected to be able to totally get rid of all the players that he doesn't want and bring new ones in. Mm-hmm. With the PSR situation they're in, he's not going to be able to do that. He's really beyond the 8 ball before they start next season.
It's a real shame because he seems likeable.
Exactly, and I think he'll leave in the summer.
Yeah, really he does. He does seem like. I know where Alex is getting at with that. He seems like a decent guy, but he's just.
Yeah, he's not like a normal ratbag Man United manager. He seems pretty young, ambitious, tactically astute. Pretty.
One thing I like about Amorim,
succeed.
Yeah, he's not frightened to speak his mind either. And say, I mean, look how many times he's turned around and said it's one of the worst Man United teams in. He's put.
They needed to hear it though.
Yeah, absolutely. But I really hope. I'm not a Spurs interested in Spurs at all, but I really hope they win the final. I think a lot of people will be all Spurs because of the ridiculous stuff coming out of Manchester United about how they can still attract the big players, X, Y, Z. It will be funny as fuck if they do not make the Champions League. And I still find it wrong anyway. The two teams in 16th and 17th in the Premier League, one of them is going to be playing Champions League football next season after a season of failure. It is a season of failure because it's not
you can't. I know the rules are there at the
start. I know what you're going to say.
But do you remember the season where Birmingham City won the Carabao Cup? Well, it wasn't the Carabao Cup then. It was, I can't remember who the sponsor was. We'll call it the English League Cup. Birmingham City won it and then got relegated. Exactly the same season. I think.
Yeah,
did Wigan do the same? Wigan won the FA Cup and went down as well. Yeah. And they both qualified for European competitions. So, it's one of those.
Yeah, it is, and it just narks me that Man United is so shit. But listen, it's a one-off game, and I really do think Spurs could win it. I know the Man United fans are quite worried about the game. So
the fact of the matter is, if Man United win that final, then they will attract players because the Manchester United team in the Champions League, I think they'll spend money. Money they
haven't got any, Billy. I mean,
well, they're working on having some Champions League money, aren't they? But I mean, it's based on sand, it's all could fall through no problem. But
yeah,
I think Amorim with a decent transfer war chest behind him, and if he gets that because of the Champions League, I think there could be a good side again.
But Billy, they recruited. I think they recruited really well in the summer. Before they went to Manchester United, I liked Xerxes, I liked Mazraoui, I liked De Ligt. I thought Ugarte was not what everybody hyped him up to be. Because we saw that as we battered PSG with him in the midfield. Yeah. But a lot of the recruitment I thought was quite decent. But Man United just is the wrong club to bring in the type of players they were trying to bring in because of the expectation and the just the weird way the clubs operate.
Well, they were brought in for Ten Hag. Ten Hag wanted those, and
he did.
Still good signings though.
They were good signings, but would Amorim wanted to sign them players? I probably don't think so.
I think you put De Ligt in the Newcastle squad and he'd be fantastic. Mazraoui would be the same. You go and put half of them in a black and white shirt and they would be considerably more useful.
By the way, Chris Travers says, I thought this was a Toon channel. Well, can we not talk about football in general as well, Chris? Are we not allowed to do that when there's plenty of stories out there regarding different stories in football? That's what we do on a news show. So, chill. By the way, that prick who I did a video on the other day, I watched one from a couple of months ago, and he turned around and said, "There's." He turned around and said, "The Newcastle squad. There is 3 players that would walk into any squad in the Premier League, right?" And he said Isak, Gordon, and Bruno. And then he said it's weird because they've got 3 players who would walk into any team in the Premier League, but the rest of them couldn't get into any team in the Premier League. So the rest of the team can't get in any other team in the Premier League. That includes Botman, Tonali, Fabian Schär, Lewis Hall, Livermore, you name it. I mean, my God.
I mean, Lewis Hall was playing for his club last season, or season before last.
Yeah, and he's
Barnes, Murphy with 20 goal
Barnes,
contributions.
Yeah,
I'll take any of our goalkeepers, Eddie Sanchez, any of them, even Woody.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of Manchester, one player that is heavily linked today with Newcastle United is Jack Grealish. Now, this looks like being a loan deal if anything does happen, but he is expected to leave Man City at the end of the season, Alex.
I'll let Billy take this one first.
All right, come on then, Bill. Let's hear it.
Absolutely no thanks. Had he been a right-sided midfield player, a winger, then I'd probably be more interested. The fact he's left, and I don't think he's good as the 2 we've already got. Plus the baggage he brings with him. No, thank you. Absolutely not.
Well, apparently he wants to join Newcastle. That's what the reports are saying, that he's very interested.
I mean, I would have sex with Pamela Anderson 20 years ago, but it didn't happen.
Maybe he's not now, Billy.
No, I don't think now.
Well, I've put a poll up simply saying Jack Grealish, yes or no. So let's see what the viewers say. Alex, would you like to say something on this?
I think it'd be a fantastic signing on loan. If we haven't got to pay for him, absolutely. For the squad depth, for the experience, for the tactical knowledge, for the playing style, I think we'd get way more out of him in the way that we play, with counter-attacking, with aggressive wingers. I think he can play a bit like Gordon in certain, especially if you give him a bit more freedom and you go and let him be a bit of an idiot again. I think for the versatility in the front 3, the experience, dropping into midfield, dropping into the 10 in a campaign that's going to have European games as well. I think if we're talking about a transfer fee, guys, not a chance. No way in hell. On loan for a season, no obligation. Just pop him in the squad as rotation. Hell yeah. Absolutely.
Just get Miggy to ring him up every week.
Not to consider
just get Miggy to ring him up every week and say, by the way, Jack, you're shite and you don't deserve to be at Newcastle.
I think it could be quite funny. I think it could work. I think it could work in terms of the squad harmony. I think it'd be a bit of a giggle. I think he's a bit of a knob. I think he'd kind of... a few of our guys are a bit like that, where they're a bit comical. They're quite happy to have a dig. I think he'd be a nightmare to play against.
Yeah,
he'd be part of our...
Can I just... I'm going to back him up a little bit here because one thing that Jack Grealish has done and does do a lot behind the scenes is a lot of work for charity. He does a lot for children's charities, and he's been seen. I don't know if you can remember when they were getting medals for something. There was a disabled kid in the line, and all the Man City players were just walking past. But Jack actually stopped and gave her a hug and everything like that. And he's been seen to do that on numerous occasions. So maybe he's not a knob. Maybe he's just a daft lad who likes to have a laugh. You know, I mean, Asula's a daft lad that likes to have a laugh, but we fucking love him. So, you know.
I mean, just to prove a point, that's his ball progression. In his recent data, where he's not been playing very well in inverted commas, his ball progression is elite. It's the best.
How does he carry progressively without successfully taking people on?
He just goes backwards. That's the problem with Man City. I think in our system, he would be so much better.
I mean, Jeremy Doku doesn't go backwards, does he?
Well, no, but it doesn't matter with this guy because he'll be on loan. What's to lose? If it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. We haven't paid a transfer fee for him. We need the depth for Europe.
Yeah, but the thing is, you've got to remember, if if we go for him, there's a reason why we're going for him. You know, if we want him on loan, then Eddie Howe thinks he can do something with him, quite obviously. And
it's also been reported by The Athletic, so there's clearly some legs in this.
Yeah, there is legs in it. It's not just the usual, you know, clickbait and shite. I mean, these guys, you know, they know what they're talking about. I've got a lot of time for The Athletic, and they come up with some very
for
good
everybody
stories.
who's really against this, just think about it as the on loan. It would be on loan, not a transfer. We don't have to commit to him. We might be able to sort something out with wages, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But it's a loan, and it's somebody who can be really good. We might be able to get a tune out of him. Look at some of these players from these big clubs that have gone on loan elsewhere. I say big clubs. I'm generally talking about some of the Man United players that have done better when they left. So not really big clubs, but, you know, struggling clubs. But we could get a lot out of him, I think.
Chris at Evermore makes a good point. He says, we do lack a player that can do something out of nothing, to be fair. Grealish can do that. He was unreal at Villa. And if you get him anywhere near that kind of player, we've got a player on our hands. By the way, go and subscribe to Evermore. Great couple of lads over there. Get signed up and give them your support, guys. Big friends of this channel. So if we can get them some support, that would be great. So get over and subscribe to Evermore. I don't think I'd be against it, to be honest. Only on loan. I think it's too much of a risk if we pay a transfer fee. But on loan, I don't think I'd be against it, I have to say. I
don't see the point in having Barnes, Gordon, and Jack Grealish. I just don't.
But he can play on the right, Grealish. He's done it before, many times.
He's shit at it.
Well,
yeah,
is he?
Not many. I think I'd prefer to see the other two on the right.
Yeah, but
I prefer us to buy a proper right winger as well. And then
I mean, Jack Grealish has changed his style of play completely since he was Aston Villa. I mean, he's now a very much possession-based player, which he doesn't. There's no flair in him really. But what he does do is get fouled a lot, and he gives us free kicks, which obviously would be a good thing.
This is what we might be able to get out of him, though, Billy. We could maybe try and get him playing in a different way.
Shush, Chris. None of that, unless Gordon is away. You know what
if we went and got like Mbeumo, like a few people have said, Brian Mbeumo and Grealish and on loan, the depth, the extra depth.
That's what we need, and I think people are missing that point. Is that we need the depth, and for me, Grealish is not a risk if he comes in on loan. It's a risk.
People saying, Tom's saying that he doesn't think that we need him. Yeah, but what if one of these left wingers gets an ACL? That's the whole season in bits then. If Gordon gets an ACL, Barnes has got to do the entire season, 60-odd fixtures. Like, I get that there's two players on the left already, but it's a big campaign. I think people have forgotten how hard last season was in the Champions League. It was bloody. We got to Christmas, we got like 12, 13 players out at once. We could barely field a full team. We were actually giving up spaces on the bench because we didn't have enough players to fill a bench. It was embarrassing. You're saying we've got too many players. We haven't.
What's his wages
we
like?
Haven't got
what's his wages like? Because obviously we're going to have to pay some of his
300k, very high. So it'd have to be worked out with City. We wouldn't be able to pay
he wouldn't be able to command that.
Copyright, Billy.
What on earth was that?
I don't know. Billy's being serenaded through the window, clearly.
He's turned his mic off as well, so I didn't know what he said. Unmute, Billy.
Well, no, because the music's still on.
Oh, he's still playing. What the fuck is he listening to?
We can't lip read.
Bloody hell, am I a professional lip reader? What the fuck is going on?
It's a text sound, so I've muted.
Bloody hell.
That is the longest text sound I've
Christ,
ever heard.
I mean, I've got about 5 at once.
You're sitting listening to a text message tone for about 5 minutes before you read the bloody message. It's
like you're on holiday and someone comes next to your table with a violin and some stuff. That's what it sounded like.
It's no wonder it takes so long to reply when he takes 5 minutes to listen to his bloody ringtone.
Flower for the lady.
It's obviously Pamela's ringing you, Billy. Pamela's obviously watching tonight, and she's like, "Oh, I'll have a bit of the tray."
Pamela, five sisters, yeah.
Yes, let's move on. Now, speaking of the right-hand side, by the way, I've missed a super chat, and it's come from Loaf. Thank you, mate. Hey, TTR and chat. Hope you're all well. Thank you, Loaf.
Thanks for the bread.
Indeed. We've got another one from Butch. Loaf and Butch. There's two usernames for you. Jack used to play centre midfield. So could it be for Willock?
Yeah, if we get a cheeky 20-25 mil for Willock and bring Grealish in on loan, that's a tidy bit of business.
I agree. I agree. But speaking of the right-hand side, ladies and gentlemen, today we've also been linked with Atletico Bilbao's Nico Williams, who, Alex, me and you saw play not very long ago in the Cellar Cup, and he's a favourite of mine, I have to say. I do like the player.
Was it this year or last year we saw him? I can't remember.
Bilbao was...
This season or last season? Was
it this season? I can't remember. It's gone... this season has been so full of... I mean, somebody will tell us in the chat when Bilbao played us. But Nico Williams, I think it was very good player. I think it was, 2 seasons ago. Nico Williams isn't the left winger. He's a right winger, isn't he?
Yeah, he can do both, though. He's definitely one who can do both, but he's more right than left. I think.
He is.
Yeah, well,
I thought he was more left, was he not?
I thought he's right-sided.
Yeah, I did.
I thought he was. No, no,
he's right-footed.
He's left-sided.
He's not.
Yeah, just because he's right-footed, I'm pretty sure he plays on the left.
No,
we've got.
I'm not having.
Well, Yamal was on for Spain, and he was on the left for Spain, definitely, wasn't he? Because Yamal was on the right.
No.
Yeah, look, he's exclusively a left winger, high pressing, playmaking.
Bollocks.
And he's
right. Well, okay then. He can play both freaking sides. But why are we talking
all
about
against Man United? They lost 3-0.
Yeah, it's Iñaki that plays right. Of course it is. Yeah. So yeah, fair enough.
Well, I mean, he should be playing up front because he's getting a bit slow now. Well, we saw him a couple of years ago as well, and he got his shirt ripped. I can't remember who ripped it. It might have been Dan Burn.
How on earth do you remember? I mean, is there?
Do you not remember that? He got in a tussle with one of our centre halves, ripped his shirt. We were right in front of it.
Well, seeing as he's left-sided, we're not going to talk about him anymore because I can't be asked. There's too many left-sided players here. It's just ridiculous. However, there has been news just broken from Gazzetta del Sporto in Italy that Newcastle United may be trying to prize Dusan Vlahovic away from Juventus this summer because he's only got 12 months left on his contract.
That would be
out of all Vlahovic's potential options, a move to Newcastle United is being touted as his most likely destination, with a cut price deal potentially on offer in Juventus's last summer window to secure a fee.
Does he come as a number 2 choice striker? That would be my question.
I know, but would there be? I mean, they're going to both play a lot of games, though, aren't they?
Yeah, but he's going to play the vast majority, I would imagine.
And I'll throw another spanner in, like Chris did at Evermore, unless he sacks on his way.
We're going to end up with Grealish, fucking Vlahovic, and Murphy as our front three next year, the way things are going here. No, thank you. Not as a number 2. I don't think he'll come. I like him, but I don't think he'll come.
It says Vlahovic has been tenuously linked with a move to Newton Heath. But once again, the allure of the project at Newcastle and as well as European football could play its part in negotiations.
Yeah, but it's an Italian news outlet, so
I don't care. The fact that we're linked with him, Alex, I'd rather be linked with Vlahovic than bloody,
Mate, you've said his name differently like every single time you've said it.
Ben Shepherd.
Alex, I don't care how you pronounce it. All I care about is if he would come to Newcastle and smash the net. Vlahovic. There you go. Are you satisfied with that one, Alex?
He's a good player, and I would take him in a heartbeat. Absolutely. And just say, look, fight for your place, because he's an absolute monster.
What about Vlahovic? What do you reckon about him?
Vlahovic is all right.
Vlahovic, don't know, mate. Different player. Dusan Vlahovic is like an exotic version of Chris Wood, who is, everything that Chris Wood is in terms of a lump. This guy is more technical. He's 25 years old, and he's far more exciting. I know that Chris Wood has had his best season, but still.
Yeah, 318k a week.
Yeah. Well, listen, these are the players that we're going to have. We have to,
Yeah, but are you going to seriously sign a second choice as we're going to call him, and he's going to want 320k.
But we don't know if he's going to be second choice. That's the question, isn't it? I mean, look, I saw a headline on one of the media outlets today saying Sam Allardyce gives his verdict on who has been better this season, Alexander Isak or Chris Wood. And I bet
he says Chris Wood.
I didn't go into it because if I did, I probably would have got very annoyed.
Here's a question. Here's a question. What would you, if you saw a front three of Isak, Vlahovic, and maybe Gordon, would you be super against that, pushing Isak out wide if we signed an absolute monster up front?
No, I wouldn't be against it. No.
By the way, Mackem Cabby's in tonight. He'll be in a good mood. Can I just say on that, right? And no offense to the Mackem Cabby here, right? No offense at all to the Mackem Cabby, because I love him. He's a good guy. What in God's earth were Newcastle United fans doing on social media last night congratulating Sunderland? Where have we got in football now that Newcastle United fans going onto social media and saying, "Oh, well done, Sunderland. It's fantastic that you got the win." Bullshit, man. Why? Why are people, for Newcastle United fans, congratulating the Mackems?
Especially as Jamie is F-U-C-K. I mean, over 2 games of football.
Coventry outplayed them, and they're going to get walloped in the final.
Well, we don't know.
I don't think they'll beat Sheffield United.
No, they won't.
I mean, if anything, this has been... They've taken far too long to get this far. They're supposed to be the noisy neighbours with... How big's their ground? 46k? I know they can't fill it.
Well, if you go on average crowds, it's probably about 22,000.
But with the size of the stadium, the history of the club, and the academy, it's dragging the region down, and they need to sort themselves out.
Oh, I'm not bollocks. This region bollocks. Look. Tommy says, "How are you, Paul? It's good for the northeast, you knacker." Tommy,
I agree with Tommy there.
Bullshit. Go and take your face for a huge shite, and you too, Alex. Right? Bullshit.
It is good for the region because we can pinch all their good players.
They're still. Listen,
Sunderland won't sell us any of their players. Don't worry about that.
Will they bollocks?
We can get them bollocks before they even put on a red and white shirt.
Nah, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I mean,
look what happens in Manchester.
Keith says, "Jesus, Paul, the mill of human kindness is certainly flowing tonight, isn't it?" These are our bitter rivals.
I care less what they do as long as we beat them every time we play them.
I think defensively they're very good. I think they've got a very good in the Championship, that is. But in the Premier League, with that back four and the keeper, they're going to concede hatfuls.
If they go up, they will get absolutely annihilated.
Dog Waters, I'll take Joby off them. Absolutely not. I think he's the most overrated player I've seen in the Championship for years.
It's his surname. It's simple as that.
I think it's a season too early if they go up. They will get absolutely battered if they go up.
They are. They're shite, right? They are shite. And my bloody mother, who's a Mackem, she was on about this to me this morning. Oh, well, Eddie Howe said he would love to see Sunderland in the Premier League. I don't care. I just don't get, where is the rivalry gone? Why are people saying, I'd love Sunderland to be in the Premier League?
Yeah, so we can beat them.
I'd like him in the Northern Premier League.
Yeah. I just don't. Listen, somebody saying there, I'd love to see them in administration and shit like that. No, I'm not talking about that, right?
I think, Paul, there's a balance. I want them to be bad, but not so bad that it hurts the region's football. So worse than us at everything, but enough that it's still helping the football of the Northeast. That's what I would prefer.
No, the likes of Darlington, York City. No, well, they're not in the Northeast, are they? Who else are there? South Shields, those type of sides, Hartlepool. They do. I would rather they started moving up the leagues and doing something for the Northeast than fucking Sunderland. Jesus Christ. Tom says, let's not have any of this good for the Northeast crap. No NUFC or Sunderland fan worth their salt would want the other to have any degree of success at all. Tom, bang on.
Yeah,
I do.
That's why I said, Tom, no success. It's purely always worse than us, but at least enough in a good enough league to not be embarrassing for the region, to have a good enough academy, good enough infrastructure to assist That's all I'm saying.
Alex, they can be our bitter rivals. They don't have to be in the same league as us. You know, bollocks to it. I don't want Sunderland to have any success, any promotion. Just
you've
like
got Chris Rigg, who's a Newcastle fan, and I've got no doubt that we might try and pinch him in the future.
And praised Sunderland to the hilt, hasn't he? In a recent interview,
like a Newcastle fan on the pitch.
No, does he? Bollocks. Listen, I'm sorry, but I mean, I don't know whether this is a region thing. You know, if you live in Newcastle, then you feel different to other Newcastle fans, maybe who don't know the real hatred. But look, I've got plenty of friends who are Sunderland fans. I've got family who are Sunderland fans, and I don't wish anything bad on them, but I just do not like the football club at all. And I don't want any success for Sunderland. They can still be our fierce rivals. We can play them once in a while in cups and things like that. But I don't take it to social media and saying, "Oh, well done, Sunderland," with clapping emojis.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Fuck off. Seriously.
Especially as
with what you've just said,
really, really fortunate to do it.
Back at the other pool as well. Steady on, lad.
Doesn't matter where you were born and raised. If you're a Newcastle fan, you're a Newcastle fan. But the hatred up here, and Sunderland, do you think Sunderland we're going to say, "Oh, well done, Newcastle, for winning the Carabao Cup"? No, they fucking didn't.
Absolutely not.
They were taking to social media, calling it a tin pot cup and all of this. Yet, you know, Christ, they wanted the world to shut down, have a bank holiday when they won the Pizza Cup. I mean, Christ on a bike, man. Come on. I mean, there's supposed to be rivalries in football, but where's it gone? Oh, well done, Sunderland. Woohoo! Give our.
That's the kind of Liverpool-Everton shit that.
I'm not having it.
That's not really a rivalry for me. Whereas ours is supposed to be one which is bred on hatred.
Listen, I don't wish anything bad on Sunderland fans or anything like that. Right? It's football rivalry I'm talking about here. I don't want any success for Sunderland. And any true Sunderland fan does not want to see Newcastle at the top of the Premier League fighting it out for finishing runners up and winning cups and getting into the Champions League. Do you think they're going to applaud us for that? Not a chance.
And if we're playing them 4 days for a big game like a Champions League game, they'd be kicking shit out of us, trying to win.
Of course they would. Peter Garthwaite says if we could get Grealish back to his best, he would be streets ahead of Barnes. Also, have you laughed at reports that Man United won Toon Army? Yeah, we did. Peter, you need to tune in from the start, mate, because you keep missing a huge chunk. Chippers says, was Nissan closed last night? It must have been, yeah. It must have been. Dinesh says, deep down, Paul, they hate us just as much as we hate them. NUFC, all or nothing. I mean, I
think actually Sunderland fans are more open in their hatred of us. I mean, if we're having people applauding them with getting through last night, that would never happen from them. Never.
Yeah. It's football rivalry. It's not hatred from me. It's football rivalry.
I think they're a little bit jealous of us as well. I mean, they've got a little bit of jealousy involved as well.
Paul, your bath mat is a Sunderland shirt.
I beg your pardon?
Your bath mat in your bathroom is a Sunderland shirt, so you stand on it every single time.
Well, it's not, Alex, and I don't know what.
I mean, it used to be. The last time I was at yours, it was a Sunderland shirt. It was.
No, Alex, you were in the other house where my mother and daughter live. That is
okay.
Why
well, maybe that was their bathroom.
I wouldn't have a freaking Sunderland shirt on a bathroom floor. The only Sunderland shirt
I thought you'd got it there.
Fire.
I thought you'd got it there specifically to
piss on,
stand on it, and disrespect it. Yeah. Whenever you were in the bathroom, I thought that was what it was. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to bring it up.
James says only people from the city know the hatred against Sunderland. Really, Paul, I would say it's loads more hostile in, say, Durham. Yes, it is. I agree. It's not quite what I meant, James, to be honest, because we're talking about a very, very vast area here, and there isn't a lot between Newcastle and Sunderland.
You go and walk along the beach.
Yeah.
You get people with sometimes a red and white shirt, and then I obviously wear the Newcastle stuff when I come up, and it's a bit weird.
Yeah. Chris says that's okay, Paul. My toilet paper is a Sunderland shirt.
The trouble with that is it puts more shit on it, takes off, doesn't it?
Yeah. Toon Assassin says, what the food, Paul? I allow nothing red in my house. It's not my house. Well, it is my house, but I don't. Well, what the hell? I do not have a Sunderland shirt. See what you've started now, you little dwarf twat. Honestly, give our man. I just could not believe what I was seeing on social media last night. It would be. I mean, it was the emojis that were getting me. Why are you putting clapping emojis to Sunderland winning a football game? Just ridiculous, man. Just ridiculous. And anybody that wants success for Sunderland, have a word with yourself in the mirror. And if you still think that, go and put your head down the toilet full of shite and flush it. Simple as. Simple as.
But this way, we'll be shouting for arse blaster and anal in the final.
Exactly. Yes. Anal and arse blaster get stuck in. We might actually do a watch along for it. That would be.
Thinking that.
Yeah.
We can have the Malcolm Cabby on as a guest commentator, can't we?
Yeah. Well, he said he wanted. He said you should bring himself on as a guest. Yeah. So. Oh wow! Anyway, that kind of went sideways there, but there you go. The world has gone to shite. Italian media reporting the report from the TTR is a closet Mackham. Alex, I'm going to absolutely kill you.
No. They are so far wrong. They would probably report he was like a Norwich fan because they can't even get anything remotely right.
But you didn't even have to say that. I don't even know why you said that.
Well, I mean, it happened.
But it wasn't mine.
Was it actually a shirt? Was it just a red and white striped mat stato? Or was it an actual shirt?
It was. I think it was a shirt, but it was like where the
probably
sink
was.
Is. You stand there to wash your hands in the sink. And you're standing on a Sunderland shirt. So I thought Paul had done it as a bit of a, screw you to Sunderland, and so he'd stand on it on purpose. I thought it was like a banter thing with his family. I didn't realise.
The only thing I'd do with the Sunderland shirt, Alex, is burn it. That's the only good thing to do with the Sunderland shirt is burn it. But yeah, Alex will be fired after the show. Loaf with another super chat. Any chance you do a watch along for the playoff final? Yes, there is a chance. Because
but I hate Sheffield United as well.
I'm not a fan of them, but I'll be one that day. That's for certain.
No.
My dad's side of the family. Why don't you turn around, Alex, and go, let's hope Sunderland are back in the Premier League.
I hate both of them. I don't want any of them to go. I'd have preferred Coventry to come up, to be fair.
No.
But we got a lot of players that have come from there.
I have no idea what just left Billy's mouth there. I'm confused.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want Newcastle to play Coventry anytime soon. I hate the pressure of those games.
It's quite a neutral tie. I wouldn't have.
They're pissing into it though, Stato. If you're in Coventry and they managed to win against you, Christ Almighty.
That's true.
Oh, just looking at something else here, guys. Newcastle United may sacrifice Harvey Barnes over PSR. That's according to Chris Waddle.
The financial expert.
I mean, how the hell Chris Waddle knows what our PSR situation is?
Has he missed the last 3 windows?
I have no idea. I'm trying to get down to the quote of what Waddle said, but it doesn't seem to quote him anywhere. Hang on a minute. Here we are. So if they don't qualify, I think if they don't get the Champions League, they've got to sell somebody because of the financial fair play rules. So if they don't qualify and they've got 2 harder games coming up against Arsenal away and Everton, I don't think they're easy games, and they could really come undone in those 2 games. And then they might have to sell somebody. Harvey Barnes would probably be the preferred choice other than Bruno or Isak. Anthony Gordon played at the weekend. He's had the shirt all season. Harvey Barnes has had a great couple of months. He's been in great form, scoring and making goals. But we've not seen enough of him in the black and white shirt, says Chris Waddle.
Famous Macron, sausage maker
nonsense.
And shit penalty taker, Chris Waddle. Mind you, he's a great player.
You can say that about any team chasing the Champions League places. If Chelsea fall away, we could say, Chelsea, if they haven't quite done it, I think they've got a tough run in. They've got to play. What if they've got to play Manchester United? Manchester United might turn up in the big game. So Chelsea might have to look at selling Madueke, who maybe hasn't worked quite as well or played as many games. You could just spin. It's just nonsense. You could spin that about any team competing for these final few places. It's ridiculous.
Well, go back to our earlier poll. I asked you if you would like to have Jack Grealish. Any thoughts on the results, guys?
Well, you should have put on loan in the poll.
Well, I think they knew that, judging by, like we said, on loan many, many times in the conversation.
Well,
and if they didn't hear it, they should have got their asses here on time, is quite frankly. 68% said no.
Good. The 68% for once were right.
Well, yeah.
Once,
Billy, you're dead against it,
normally
don't you?
wrong.
I don't like Jack. Jack Grealish to me has regressed as a player so much in the past 3 or 4 years. I've got to say.
Oh, I completely agree with you, but I still think he could be good for us as an option on loan where we don't have to pay for him.
The next poll is up now, ladies and gentlemen, and it simply says, do you want SAFC back in the Premier League?
No.
Just putting it out there. Let's see what the viewers say. Kieran with a super chat saying, Paul, why would you waste your hard-earned money on a Sunderland shirt? I'm not getting it. It's not my Sunderland shirt. Everybody knows that my mother lives in the house next door to me with my daughter. So there you go. Whatever. So let's see what comes back on that. Billy, why did you find that so humorous?
I don't know. I've been thinking of something else all day. The team in the Turkish league, you know, they talk about Bilbao being falsely, though it was kind of said it that Mackham's invented them and founded them, and it wasn't, was it? I think it was Brentford fans or something, and they've got an affinity with us more than natural Sunderland. And I saw in the Turkish league, it's that I can pull his Turkish league up on his computer. There was a team there that was definitely founded by Yorkshire people.
Really?
What,
yes.
in the Super
League in Turkey? Without any shadow of a doubt, this team was. I was cracking up reading it. Definitely,
what, a team that's currently in the Turkish Super League?
Yes.
Malcolm Cabby says, I've started something here. Oops. No, you haven't, buddy. It's that little dwarf next to me who started it off by making a very unsavory comment. Dem Viril has been a member for 5 months on the channel saying, no way do I want Scumberland to come up. I mean, Malcolm Cabby, you're in the chat, right? Would you love to see Newcastle winning the Premier League, getting into Champions League on a seasonal basis and winning cups left, right, and centre? Let me know, Malcolm Cabby. Would you like that to happen? Would you put clapping emojis in for us if we won the Premier League? Jesus.
What's this team then, Billy? Because I've got the Turkish league up.
Okay, so
yes, 7-6.
Hey up, Spore.
Oh God.
Hey up, Spore. Yeah,
Hey up,
get
Spore.
in.
There's a few of them in there. Samson Spore.
By the way, guys, have you seen Sampdoria have been relegated to Serie C?
No way.
Oh, I have. It's very sad.
Oh my God. Do you know what I feel
Although,
like? The next
silver lining, Paul.
Go on.
Football Manager save, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. When the new game comes out, I'm waiting for the new one, Alex, because it might be a bit easier than this one.
We might have to wait 3 years for that.
I want to, do a return to glory with Sampdoria.
Oh no, my first thing is Bordeaux with Andy Carroll. That is the only thing I'm touching. As soon as the new Football Manager comes out, I want Andy Carroll, and I'm gonna. As soon as he retires, I'm going to bring him back as the coach or an assistant coach of Bordeaux and get him all the way back up and try and sign ex-Toon players and try and that is my save.
What, just like a load of Toon rejects going to Bordeaux?
What do you guys think about it when you think about Sampdoria players-wise?
Oh, well, what was the bald blokes?
Lombardo, Lombardo.
Vialli used to play for them, of course.
Yeah.
All the greats there. What a fall from grace.
Trevor Francis.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a clip of the last game. The weekend when they were relegated.
I think he was there for a bit.
Yeah, the whole stand behind the goal it was still packed out. All the ultras were in there. Some of the rest of the ground was empty. But I'm thinking, boy, oh boy, they used to be such a huge team in Italy.
They did, yeah.
And it's just an incredible fall from grace. But listen, hopefully they can get themselves back.
Quite a few players have played there who are pretty high up. Damsgaard's played there.
Yeah.
You've had
but if you go back over the years, Alex, back to the 90s and the 80s, I mean, they had some talent there.
Apparently, Bruno Fernandes has played there. Surely not.
No, he just went to dig the pitch up at the end of the season.
Is he actually?
The Macam Cabby says, I would be gutted, but because this is a great channel, I would say well done, lol. Yeah, through gritted teeth, through real gritted teeth. Dr. House with a super chat saying that the only league I want them back in is League One. I just don't get all this, Evermore says, I heard John Sinclair is at their next home game. Well, I mean, he likes his Italian football, does Mr. Sinclair? But
he does indeed. And he's non-league.
Yep. James says, there is only one reason alone I want Sunderland to come up to the Premier League, is to laugh uncontrollably at them this time next year when they are relegated.
I think they would honestly really, really, really struggle if they came up. They're not ready. They're not ready for a Premier League season at all.
No.
They'll get destroyed.
I mean,
I think they'd chuck money at it, though, wouldn't they? I think they would chuck money at it. Like, I think Leeds are going to chuck money at it.
This is an interesting headline. Sam Allardyce tells Newcastle United what their summer priority must be. Shall we have a look? This should be fun.
Re-employing Sam Allardyce, probably.
Yeah. Allardyce claims that the PIF are under pressure to back Eddie Howe in the transfer market. Where will Newcastle United go from here, says Allardyce. The pressure lies with the owners of Newcastle to give Eddie more ammunition. They must free up some funds to go out and buy. The good thing is he doesn't need more than one or two big boys that are better than what he's already got if he can find them. That would be priority for Newcastle. Otherwise, there could be a decline next season because you've got to keep improving. Yes, Sam. We will keep improving because we don't have you as manager, you absolute Burke.
Technically, we didn't improve in the summer and we won a cup.
I mean, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Some of the absolute tosh that leaves these people's mouths are incredible.
Statistically, the greatest England football manager of all time.
Well, statistically, yes. That one game was incredible. Honestly, just.
I love the word Burke.
I've never said that for it. I've never called anyone a Burke for ages. It's
fantastic.
It's a word that has disappeared into the sunset.
It's in the same lexicon as plonker. It's a very only fools and horses kind of word, isn't it?
Rodders, you plonker. You pillock. Yeah, there's another one. I wanted to find that one, the other Allardyce one, because I want to see who he said had the better season, but I can't find it.
Let's not.
No. I found it.
It's Chris Wood.
I found it. Let's have a look. Where's his quotes? He said the leading goal scorer, Isak. I mean, wow, what a season he's had. I think I might be talking differently if I was sat here and I was seeing that Forrester in the top four and Wood scored another couple of goals, 2 or 3 goals in the last 5 or 6 games to get them there. So he added, in terms of achievement and the fact that he's one of these players who's done okay in the Premier League, but he's the sort of bottom half striker. He's not a top goal scorer. And I think the manager, Mr. Santo, has found a way for him to score a lot more goals than anybody else. So what's he saying? I mean,
just waffling.
Just
waffling.
I mean, it doesn't actually go on and definitively say. Fucking hell!
You can just picture him as he's saying this. That he's in a white polo shirt with his watch he got from a man off of Marbella off the seafront. Actually, with his collar probably up as well.
It's got the picture of him sitting there. The picture that is on the headline, he is sitting in a white shirt with a collar.
Hey, there you go.
I think the Burtons will be bursting at the seams to try and get away as well, because I think he's probably a shirt size too small for him.
Pre-match or pre-interview pastries.
Rather like mine, actually, strangely enough.
I remember, Billy, anyone that wears a Newcastle replica shirt is 50-year-old and fat.
That's quite right.
Afternoon kickoff says, Paul, can you explain the situation of Newcastle United's PSR? No, I can't. And I don't even want to claim to. because I don't work for Newcastle United. I'm not in the financial department. So how on earth would I be able to explain it?
We'll give you a brief summary. Better than it was, considerably.
We are not in the know. Stephen says, does Kobe Bellingham still play for Sunderland? No, Job does.
Job.
I mean, Kobe could be better than Joby, to be fair.
Yeah, but I
Is
would
there
not
more
have
of them?
I would not have Job Bellingham. I do not rate him.
For fuck's sake.
What, Billy?
It just seems that some lookalikes that people are saying.
Okay.
Oh,
I have no idea.
Well, someone twice tonight. I look like Bernard Manning.
Well, yeah, people have said that for a long time, Billy.
I know, but I mean, he's been dead fucking 20 years for starters.
I know. I would rather go with Winston Churchill. Before the start of the show, the show's starting soon, and there he is, Billy, aka the main man, Winston Churchill, saying the show will be starting soon. Peter Garthwaite says, "Have you seen Man United want Tonali?" Peter. Peter, mate.
I went him in for Cantona.
I know you've super chatted twice tonight, and I do really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart, but have a word with yourself. You asked that question the first time you super chatted, and I said, go back to the start of the show. We spoke about it then. It is an absolute load of bollocks, okay? To be fair, I watched Alice's video on it, and she also tweeted out that it was an absolute bucket of shite. Why would Tonali join Manchester United? She's very, very honest about the situation, it's just mental. By the way, Peter, I don't know if you know, but we do have a new website as well. That's thetoonreview.com. We've got a new intro as well, a new logo, just to bring you up to date with everything, buddy.
And we won the Carabao Cup.
And we won the Carabao Cup, yes. I'm going to hell.
Paul, we've got one more little topic if you want to talk about some of the young players who are going to be joining us soon.
Okay. By the way, Cadero is going back out on loan. Newcastle have said that already. So, yes. Oh, it's on there.
So this is from NUFC blog.co.uk, who are normally pretty good. Ollie Hawkins. I don't know Jasper Shepperton, but it's a good article. Well done, Jasper.
Sounds like a Labrador.
So some interesting stuff. He's included a bit of an excerpt from Craig Hope as well. I've got to give them a shout out because it's their content we're looking at. So I missed whatever's going on.
Jasper's
anyway, it's just an important
name,
point.
Or Caverts.
Oh, yeah.
What, Jasper Shepperton? I mean, that's his name.
Well, yeah, but Jasper's like a Labrador, isn't it?
Is it?
Well,
there's loads of Americans called Jasper. I don't know many English people called Jasper, but it is a name. Anyway.
Stephen Mitchell says, I'm Penfold. I haven't heard that one before.
Anyway, youngsters that are coming back or arriving. You've got, Mr. Vaktang Salia is coming, along with Baran Yildiz and Mr. Antonio Cordero from Malaga. So we have 3 exciting young players that Craig Hope is stating will all be loaned out. However, an interesting point, which I wanted to get your take on, guys. I think this is a continuation of Craig Hope's quote, I believe. It's the job of Jack Ross to identify suitable clubs for them next season, most likely on the continent. Where's Shola gone?
Jack Ross was
Shola?
Back full circle, aren't we? We're back to Maccombs again.
I'm confused.
Dirk Diggler says, what do you reckon that 4-starred word is?
Stud.
Stud? You're such a stud. Yeah. Thanks, Billy.
But anyway, for people just to get excited about, we've got Mr. Cordero, Salia, Yildiz, and we've also got, if I scroll down, it references some players like Pivas as well.
Pivas, yeah.
I believe he is the Serbian centre-half, if I remember rightly. So that is 4 interesting youngsters as well as obviously Garan Kwol, who's been much better in the youth setup so far.
Been told to move though, hasn't he, by the Australian manager?
Yeah, he has. He said he'd be better off moving for his own future.
Well, yeah, but we might be able to get some money for him. So you've got Alfie Harrison as well. You're going to have Joe White coming back off loan. You've got Alex Murphy coming back off loan as well. We're going to have just a nice cluster of young players. We'll have 6 or 7 players where we can then make some decisions. We might be able to make some money on them. We can loan them out and develop them. This is way more interesting and better than we were 3 years ago. You know, all of those lads that played. I mean, recently the Australian All-Stars game. Most of them have gone. They've all gone.
Yeah, let's
now compare this to 12 months ago. What a difference!
Yeah, listen. I think it's a little bit early to. I mean, obviously, you know, I don't know where Craig Hope's got the information from, but
I know it might not work.
But
it's better.
Would you not feel that Eddie would want to see these guys in pre-season before deciding if he wants to keep them around the first team?
Maybe.
I mean, it might be the plan. They can still coordinate loans while.
I mean, Cadero, fair enough, because when we signed him, when that deal was announced, they straight away said that the likelihood he would be sent back on loan. The plan was to loan him back to Malaga, but they upset the owners, didn't they? So that wasn't going to happen.
Everybody upsets the Malaga owners. They upset themselves, but yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing Pivas. I've got to say, I'm really looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah,
he just sounds like one of those crunching centre halves that come from the continent now and again. Whether he is or not, I don't know.
Well, Chris at Evermore says, I can't wait until Eddie gives them a chance when they're 26.
Hey, Miley's young.
Peter Garthwaite, another super chat in. I missed that because my YouTube crashed, so I didn't hear it. Well, you've heard it now. You've been brought right up to date with the situation, Peter. Talking with a super chat saying, hello all, an American here waiting on my home NUFC top to arrive. Can't wait for the next games and next season to fall in love with the team all over again. Well, you know, it's one of those roller coasters you just have to be on.
We could have a new top ready to play in 14 days or 15 days or so.
Yes. I mean, there's been some interesting designs. There's been some interesting badges created by people as well. I mean, some of them may as well put a half and half badge on between Newcastle and Sunderland, the way they've been going on. Toon Army won with a super chat saying, a goalkeeper Trafford, right centre back Gahey, centre midfield Douglas Luiz, right winger, and Buemo, and a striker Delap. Thoughts?
Well, I don't think we're getting Delap. I think Delap's going to go elsewhere.
I'm not sure I'd want him.
I don't see what all the big.
He's good.
No, I don't really want him myself, but I'm saying I think he might go into Old Trafford, strangely enough.
I mean, Manchester United fans are literally cardboarding their curtains in celebration of getting Delap. I don't see the point. He's had one good season. No, he's not a bad player at all. But he's had one good season.
Is he going to get them out the hole they're in?
No, I don't think so. No.
But is he worth the wages he's demanding? I'm not too sure. Yvonne Kingswell with a super chat as well, saying, Billy Bob, it's good to see you vibrant in your heart and shirt.
Oh, thank you very much, Yvonne. I very much appreciate it and respond with ardour.
Chris at Evermore says, not the badge again, Paul. I'm triggered. I know. That's why I said it. I know how triggered you are by the badge. There is one really good design actually kicking around out there. I meant to download it today. What are you looking at, Stato?
It's the same article I had open before. I just scrolled.
Oh, well, it puts me off, man. You're reading bloody websites while you're still sharing in the.
I wonder if Stato was aware of this little bit of news. So, Stato, are you aware of this bit of news? I'm just going to put it on the screen now.
Yeah, I did read that, Billy. In Lechia Gdańsk, in the Ekstraklasa in Poland. Yeah, very, very strange one. So for people who aren't aware, when I first joined the channel for about a year, I did still live in Poland, in Wrocław. So I used to follow Śląsk Wrocław in the Polish top flight. Lechia Gdańsk, a pretty big club in Poland as well. And that is who John Carver manages, which is a bit weird.
Well, he always said he was the greatest coach in the world, didn't he?
He did indeed.
Yes, he did. I wonder if he gets a team of Jack Colbacks together.
There might be one in Poland.
Yeah, right. You never know. You never know. Anyway, let's have a look at the poll before we finish the show. I asked you, do you want SAFC back in the Premier League? What do you think the results are, guys?
I think it's very heavily towards no. I'm just be honest.
No. 80% no.
61% said no.
61? Is that all?
39%. 39% want Sunderland back in the Premier League.
That's Malcolm Cabby's just gone and bought a load of phones.
I mean,
31%.
That's a lot of you that want them back. That's interesting.
I mean, people are saying it's 6 points a year.
39%, not 31, Billy.
I mean, people are saying 6 points a year, but Sheffield United are going to be 6 points a year. So why?
Yeah, it just shame on you, everybody. Shame on you for putting
In fact,
that.
I would hazard to say that 6 points against Sunderland would be harder to get for us than what it would Sheffield United, because obviously they're going to try the fucking damnedest against us and kick us to shit.
Yeah, well. Anyway, that's it for tonight, guys. We are back tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, where we are previewing the Arsenal game. Yes, so we will be looking at both sides, how Newcastle will line up, etc., etc. So join us for that at 7. But thank you very much for watching tonight. Please do check our website out, thetoonreview.com, for all of your Toon Review merchandise. Some great stuff on there. So get yourselves on there. Get us a nice little gift. Every single order that has been placed has now been dispatched. So they've all gone. There is a very quick turnaround with our suppliers. Peter Proudlock sent me a message today saying he got his granny shirt and he loved it. It was great. So there's loads of stuff on there. So I would say go and grab your granny, but if you've just tuned in, you might wonder what sort of program you're actually watching here, but never mind. Thank you as well to our sponsors, Mamaroo Records, based in Whitley Bay, for all of your music needs.
Well done, Susan. I know. I thought it would be him.
Oh, see. Unbelievable. Why throw me under the bus like that? Unreal. I mean, Alex normally kicks off with you, Susan, for the way you make him look, because he claims you make him look fat on everything. But it would be very funny to see a really chubby Alex on one of those animations.
Well, this is between you and Billy. Why are you dragging me into this? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So check out Mamaroo, guys, in Whitley Bay for all your music needs. If you can't get into the store in Whitley Bay, they do have a website that is pinned at the top of the description, just under our website address as well. Thank you for your super chats and memberships. Mods, Alex, Billy, thank you so much. But as usual, a massive thank you to you guys out there. Great banter tonight. Great show. Thank you all for watching. And we will see you again very, very soon. In the meantime, good night.
How are the lads and lasses?
Come back and check out the green so